Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of GWF webinar. Today we will be talking about AI and analytics, the future of public service. And we have two very eminent speakers with us. First is Mr. Michael Donaldson. He is the Chief Technology Officer of Barcelona City Council. Hi Michael, thank you for being with us. And the second speaker is Mr. Marino Cavallo. He is the head innovation from Metropolitan City of Bologna, Italy. Hi, Marino.
Hi.
Both speakers will be speaking for 20 minutes, and we will have a short Q&A session at the end of the session. So during the presentation, if you have any questions for the speakers, please type your questions in the chat box, and we will take them up at the end of the session. And also, please feel free to introduce yourself so our speakers will know who all are here with us today. So without further ado, I'm going to give the screen to Michael. Michael doesn't have any presentation slide, so he will just be speaking with us for 20 minutes. Go ahead, Michael.
Thanks a lot, Sarah. Thanks a lot for the presentation. Let me just talk a little bit about the backgrounds of how we manage and how we manage. We think about technology and public administration, technology and the City Hall of Barcelona. Let me just walk you through a very brief space of time, let's say the last 10 years, and let me talk about the different models and how we have developed the idea of city and technology, city and public services, city and public institution technologies, and the City Hall of Barcelona. We started with this idea, many other cities, of course, based on the smart cities. How the technology and how all the sensors and how we gather all the data in order to gain some knowledge of what's going on real time on the city, in order to decide our different policies, in order to decide our different action. This is more or less the classical idea of smart cities, of a city that gives us not only intelligence, not only information, but also knowledge of what's going on. Knowledge, we could consider it like a mixture of experience and intelligence, and based on the technology, based on all the data that we are able to gather from different public spaces. So we had this model of smart cities. It's very well known by all of you because more or less each city has developed their own model on a smart city, and we are nothing different to any other cities. The only thing is that, as some of you may know, we have the Smart City Congress going on. In fact, it's going to go on this year as well. It's going to be a digital edition. It's going to be the 10th anniversary, and it was a very big event, very big Congress going on. We had 25,000 people for 3 days last November last year, but as you will know, things are changing a lot. So this year will be a 100% digital event. Anyway, we've got this big important Congress where we learn a lot, because there are a lot of cities, a lot of countries that come into Barcelona to talk and discuss about the smart cities. So this gives us just a little bit of point ahead in front of other cities having this big Congress in Barcelona. But as I was saying, smart city model, technology and cities would be like any other cities with the smart cities. So we developed a new idea. We added to this smart city lay, we added a new idea of smart citizens. It's not only gathering the information, the intelligence that arises from all the data and the information we can collect from the public space, but also adding the knowledge, the intelligence, the information that the citizens of the city of Barcelona can give us, in order to know what's going on in the city, in order to tackle the different problems, in order to cope different conflicts, in order to introduce better solution, better politics, and better policies. It's what we call smart citizens, and technology has also a big role in gathering or in helping us to gather all this information and to arise all this intelligence. We developed it last term in 2016, the digital platform of participation. It's called Decidim, and we've got like 50,000 citizens that are registered to this digital platform. It's very important to be registered. We don't want it to be a Twitter or a Facebook where there can be a lot of opinions, but a lot of them can be anonymous. We're very keen into the quality of the debate. So it's very important that the citizens show themselves, say who they are. There's a lot of debates going on there. There's a lot of process going on there. There's even some polls. We've got these participation budgets going on there, where the people decide with their vote what investments they want to do in front of other. And all this happens in this Decidim, the name is Decidim, in this digital platform that allows the participation and the public debate from the citizens. So we had, 10 years ago, we started with this model of smart cities. We added this layer of what we call smart citizens. And now in this new term, we've introduced a new idea. It's what we call humanizing technology. It's technology at the service of people's needs, at the service of the problems that the citizens have. It's not technology for technology. It's not technology for infrastructure. It's not technology for private companies. It's technology for citizens' needs at the service of citizens, and it's what we call humanizing technology. It's what we are trying to develop all through this term. In that sense, in the Digital Innovation Commissioner, which I hold, we try to work under this big scope, under the big scope of humanizing technology. And how do we do that? We are based in three main ideas, or three main issues, three main work issues. The first of them would be fighting against the digital gap. As you all know, there's a lot of citizens that cannot access to internet and cannot even access to the different hardware, to a tablet or to a school. This is a reality that we all knew, but has come more dramatically with the lockdown. So it's something that we need to work on, trying to reduce that digital gap. We need to talk about the internet as a new right, as a new human right. It's a new dimension. The digital sphere is a new dimension, brings a lot of possibilities, but also brings new rights, new responsibilities. And we, public institutions, we need to work on that direction, and especially in lockdown times, where internet, where the technologies are the only access to the open world. So that's something we're working on. There's another issue. There's another work issue. We work is digital innovation. How the technologies, the emerging technologies, 5G, IoT, big data, AI. Well, AI wouldn't be an emerging technology, but it would be in order to deliver public services. This is all related about digital innovation. In the same idea, we're trying to innovate in order to humanize this technology. And the first big issue that we work on, it's about ethics on technology and ethics. It's not only the technology we use, but especially how we use that technology. We as public bodies, as a public institution, we need to be very keen. We need to focus a lot on the sphere of rights and ethics. because we know that technologies are not neutral, and the way you use them, you can bring in more discriminations. You can bring old discriminations, and you can bring in new discriminations. And so that's something that we need to be very, very, very focused on, that we have to take good care of that thing. So coming to the point of the conference, of the webinar about how we use AI for public services, delivering public services. We have an organization, an office. It's the municipality office of data, where basically what we're working is to gather all the different silos of information, all the different information that's all around the organization, all the different software applications and systems of information. We are integrating them. We almost finished. It's something that we started last term, and we are going to finish it this year. It takes time, as you all know. At the public institutions, we are a big organizations with a lot of different bodies and a lot of structures, and even with different companies, public companies, and other kind of figures. So we need to bring all them in together, to take control, to integrate them in order to make decisions. That's what we started last term on this data municipal office. And now what we're going to do is we're going to manage this data, not only in order to control what's going on in the city in terms of accountability as well, through the open data portal, in order to, as I said, take control of what's going on in the city, in order to take the decisions. But we're going to introduce a new step. It's about introducing public services along or helped by AI, by these emergency technologies. We're just about starting. We have tested. I'll talk to you about an example that we launched a couple of weeks back now, but we've just started. We have to develop. You have to develop a strategy on the following months, and what we've done is a declaration. We have passed in the City Hall a statement on how to use AI based on an ethic dimension. There are basically three principles that sustain this declaration. All the technology that we use, the AI and the rest of the emerging technologies that we are going to use to deliver public services, they gotta be legal. That's for sure. There's all the privacy data issue. That's very important. It has to be reliable. It has to be strong from a technical point of view. It has to be something that we know that isn't going to fail, because we're talking about public services here. We're talking about guarantee different rights, the personal rights. So it has to be something solid, has to be reliable, something that we can trust, and it has to be ethic. Has to be, as I said, legal, has to be strong, but especially has to be ethic. Because as I said before, if we don't take good care about the data we are managing, we would be very close to reproduce new and old discriminations based on the data that we have to use. That means that these technologies, they have to focus on the public interest. They have to respond on idea of transparency and accountability. When we develop the different algorithms that deliver the public services, we need to explain how they were composed, how they were programmed. We need to not only be transparent and show them to anyone who wants to access, but also be able to explain why we are using that and we are not using another algorithm, and what is that algorithm delivering us, and why it's not delivering another thing. We need to work in that idea of transparency and accountability at the same time. We need to be, there has to be a human supervision. There has to be a human responsible above these systems. This technology is not going to help us if there's no someone that's in charge of the city hall that can be responsible. Has to of course, has to be has to respect the RGDP, and as I said before, it has to be strong from a from a technical point of view. Just I've got a minute left. I think the next steps, as I had said, are going to be focused on development of this strategy. We have approved. I can share it with you if you want. It's translated in English, this statement, this declaration, and now we gotta develop the strategy, and we also gotta start doing some training for our public workers, for our public service workers, civil servants, because these are very, very new technologies, and not everybody knows about these technologies, but everybody at the same time need to know that this is a potential that we need to use. Just let me, for the last very few seconds I got, as I said before, we have started doing some little experiments introducing AI in order to deliver public services. As you well know, Barcelona is a city just along the coast. We've got more than 6 kilometers of beach, of the coastline. There's a lot of people, especially with this heat, this time of the year, in summertime. There's a lot of people in the beach, and we need to guarantee the social distance in order to prevent the spread of the pandemic of the COVID. So as we wouldn't be able to have a police in every 50 meters in the city, and we wouldn't know the density of how many people were in the city or not, we have introduced 12 different cameras that are set up just beside the beach, and they are based in different sensors that, through a program, a software of AI, they give us at real time how many people, or how much is the density of the people that are staying in the beach. So once we reach that density that doesn't guarantee the social distance, we close down the beach. It's all totally private. These sensors, they don't film, they don't tape bodies. They just get the idea through the sensors of how many people are there at the moment. And we are also able to give information in real time through our websites to the people in their houses, so they can decide if they want to go down to the beach, whether they're going to find it full, or whether they be able to come into the city, into the beach, sorry, with totally safety. So that would be a good idea of when we're talking about humanizing technology and how to use AI for delivering public services. It would give us a good idea of a real experience that we have, that we are still developing this time in Barcelona. So I've reached like 21 minutes, Sarah. I hope it wasn't that much out of my time.
No. Thank you so much, Michael. So we will see you again at the end of the seminar. Now I would like to start Marino's presentation. Here you go, Marino. Can you come on screen? Okay, so you have 20 minutes.
Okay, perfect. Many thanks, Sarah. Hello to everybody. I'm Marino Cavallo. I work at the Metropolitan City of Bologna, and I am the responsible of the research, innovation, and EU project in this local public administration. I would like to present you some project we are developing in the fields of the artificial intelligence and the innovation of the service for the citizen and the enterprise. We are realizing this project in the context of our European project, and in particular I will present you the interregional European project Start Easy. Our projects are now focused on the service for the enterprise, and especially in the one-stop shop for the enterprise, a service of information brokers and the sort of navigators for the small and medium enterprise of our territory, and for the small and medium enterprise and startup, or also in other territory of the European country. First of all, I would like to present the framework of and the concept of one-stop shop. The objective is engagement in the e-government to enhance service for startup and enterprise, of course. And the specificity of one-stop shop is a completely different approach to the service for the enterprise. In one-stop shop, you can find, aggregate similar service, but also other other kind of service that are considered for us and for the needs of the enterprise useful. And so you prepare in a sort of service package all these different kind of service, and you in this way integrate different needs of the enterprise. We can say that one-stop shop tries to replicate the concept of the supermarket. You go to the supermarket and you can find all the different kind of goods you need, of products you need for your meal, or for the need of the daily life of your family. So the idea is to replicate this concept of supermarket in the context of the service for the enterprise. We think artificial intelligence can support us for a better user profiling of the needs and of the behavior of our consumer, of our client of this kind of service, of our entrepreneur. So the first role of artificial intelligence is a role of support for the profiling of the users. Something else about artificial intelligence in Italy. What's going on? We recently organized in Italy the Forum of Artificial Intelligence, and we understand that we are now in a new scenario, and artificial intelligence could be important part of this new scenario, of this innovation. But we have to be able to apply, to design new project and new service using the artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is a good tradition of research in Italy. Italy is the first country in the world in the field of the research on artificial intelligence. But of course, we have also problems related to the funding of this study, of this analysis, of this experimentation. Despite the excellence of the level of the Italian research, Italy is the 27th country in the world for research funding in digital technology, and especially in artificial intelligence. So we have to improve this level of funding of this strategic new technology. Artificial intelligence requires a new concept of partnership. In the successful project of artificial intelligence, we have to put together researcher, but also the producer of device and software of artificial intelligence, in general, information technology companies, software manufacturers, hardware manufacturers, and the users. It's important the role of the user. We have to design the experience of the user, and so the user can help us to satisfy the specific needs. In this case, of course, we are talking about the needs of the enterprise and the needs of the entrepreneur. So the one-stop shop gives a chance to build this new ecosystem where different actors can work together. For example, doing research and other things with the different actor of this ecosystem. I am aware that now in the international competition, the most important factor is the time factors. Many industries in the future will use artificial intelligence in order to reduce the most important factor in the era of the globalization, the time. Reduce the time to market for the product, reduce the time for the selection of product, reduce the cost of the implementation of a product on the market, but also improve and enhance the industrial processes, and really important also for the sustainability of the production, the logistic optimization. All the strategic part of the industry and the work on the industrialization and the new technology is important. The role of the artificial intelligence, because as I said, the time is the central factor of our competition now. We think the public administration have an important role to support our enterprise in the competition challenges. And one way to support our enterprise is the optimization of the procedures, of the bureaucratic procedures, and the support to the enterprise to obtain fund, to obtain the vocational training, to obtain service, especially for the small and medium enterprise. To do this, we started with a network of single point of access for the entrepreneurship. And thanks to the specific agreement in the last years with the Emilia-Romagna region, we assumed the coordination of this network of service for the local enterprise. Single point of access is an office where you can find support for all the bureaucratic procedures to start up an enterprise, a business, and to have support for the founding of your enterprise. Now, with the support of the European Fund and with the support of Start Easy project, we try to change the single point of access and to move toward the one-stop shop, the supermarket for the enterprise, for the small and medium enterprise. This is our goal in the next month and in the next years. One-stop shop is an evolution, considering the previous single point of access, but with the support of artificial intelligence, we will try to create pilot of a new kind of service, the intelligent one-stop shop, IOS. Intelligent one-stop shop is one of the deliverable of the layout of our project Start Easy, and we try to concentrate in this office the intelligent function of service for the enterprise, and to package the e-service in one physical or virtual place. And we try to encourage the development of service based on the model of an intelligent interaction between the different actors, between the public administration and the entrepreneur. We want to use in this new intelligent one-stop shop the methodology of the user experience and the innovative methodology of the design thinking and the mapping of the user experience. To do this, to apply and to implement this kind of new service, we need the support of the artificial intelligence and of the big data to elaborate the information, to analyze the different needs of the enterprise. I think it's also important, if we move to an intelligent one-stop shop, use the feature of the open innovation and the shared data knowledge, the possibility to share data and to create community for the development of innovative service, for the enhancement of the kind of service we put on the intelligent one-stop shop. Another important thing in our project is the role of the European community to found this innovative service for enterprise. In the last program of research and technological transfer of European Union, Horizon 2020, there were huge fund for the funding of the digital innovation. But in the next program of research and innovation of the European community, there will be a dedicated part of the research and innovation program in order to develop a project and service in the field of the new technology and of the artificial intelligence. So we can find in this project, in Horizon Europe and in the program for the digital development of the enterprise, specific line of action and a specific program devoted to founding new service in the field of the big data and the artificial intelligence. This is a huge amount of investment, over 100 billion of euros in the main topic of the artificial intelligence, in the digital technology, in the robotics, in the advanced computing and the big data, in the internet of the next generation, in the cybersecurity, and so on. And we have in the next year the possibility to found our innovative service, to found our network of new service for the enterprise. And now something about the actors of this project we are developing. The Start Easy project is an interregional European project. The lead partner of this project is Generalitat de Catalunya in Spain. So it's the country of my colleague Michael. And another important partner, of course, is the Metropolitan City of Bologna, my organization. But there are also innovation center from Lithuania, the Lublin Science and Technology Park from Poland, and the Economic Council of East Flanders in Belgium, and the Mazovia Development Agency in Poland, the Directorate General for the Enterprise in France, and the Ministry of Economic of the Republic of Latvia. So, as you can see, different countries with different size of country, different level of development in the field of the digital innovation and the public service. And so I think this mix of different situations could be really strategic for the service we are working in. We received a fund of over 1,500 euros, funded by European Union and national body. The objective of the project are the improvement of the public policy, of course, in the regional development program, the creation of environment that enable improvement in business competitiveness, and smart tool to create the companies, the business, easily and quickly, because as I said you before, the time is the key strategic variable for the competitiveness of our enterprise today, and I think also tomorrow. There are two phases. In the first phase, we are now in the first phase, and we are developing the service, the innovative service, and we are creating the pilot. In the second phase, we try to create new policy for the wide development in the different countries of Europe of this network of one-stop shop. With more detail, we are organizing activity of learning of the different situation in the local country of the project, exchange of good practice, coordination of the different strategy in the European country involved in the project, better governance, experience, best practice of better governance, especially for the engagement of multiple stakeholders. And the topic we are focusing our attention in this phase are the startup regulation, the startup and the use of lab to support the new company, the activity of networking for the different enterprise, open innovation, financing, how I can finance my startup, the new technological solution and the use of advanced new technology like the artificial intelligence tools, the improve of new service in the one-stop shop and in the intelligent one-stop shop, hypothesis for new services, better communication about the service of the enterprise and the opportunity of the cooperation between public administration and enterprises, some effective measure about the taxation of the enterprise, and another important thing, activity for the attraction and the retainment of the talent in our territory, in our country, in our enterprise, because the human resource in a technological context are really strategic and are the most important resource of an enterprise, but also of a territory. Okay, I think I finished my time, so I stop my presentation. I would like to thank you for your attention, and that I am at your disposal for questions and further information. Many thanks.
Thank you, Marino. May I invite Michael back on screen? Yes. So thank you both for your presentation. I think both Spain and Italy are both countries are very much affected by COVID. So it is very interesting for the audience as well to know how COVID has motivated you to use AI further for public service. Maybe Michael?
Is it on now? Yeah. Well, basically, it's what I introduced before, managing the density of spaces through AI. As I said, we launched this initiative a couple of weeks ago, or 3 weeks now, at mid-June, where the summer starts, where the beach season starts, and we're going to monitor it. We're going to see if it's working or not, because if it's going to work, it could be a model that we're going to use in other different public spaces, such as theaters, open space theaters, avenues, big avenues, public markets. So it's a disgrace, but it looks as until we don't find the machine, we're going to have different kind of lockdowns in the next months. So it's going to be very important to control the density in order to prevent the social distance. And AI can help us, as it's helping us. The first outputs, the first results are positive. So if this works, we're going to use it in other public spaces.
And Marino, any case studies from Bologna?
Of course, COVID was a big problem, and is still a big problem in Bologna, in Italy, and also, I think, in many countries. But I think we learn also some lesson by this situation. One important lesson is in the organization of work. For example, on two aspects. And the aspect on the re-engineering of some processes in the enterprise, also in the small and medium enterprise, we learn this thanks to this situation, and how to accelerate the business re-engineering process. So this is really important. For example, we observe the increase of the level of electronic e-commerce and the use of the e-commerce, the new way of the delivery of goods. These are aspects affected and created also with the support of this new context. But there is another important impact of the COVID on the daily life of people, is on the job, on the work of people in this period. As you can observe, we move the main part of our work, especially in the service, in the public service, but also in the private service, using the digital platform, using internet, using the new technology. So this is a new way to work, and is a new way to share the job with other people, with other colleagues. So I think this is an important lesson we learn with in this situation, this crisis. And at the end of this, I think there will be enterprise able to capitalize this lesson learned, to present new service and new service with more intelligent device, with more intelligent features. And so I come back to the topic of our conference. I think to us a wide and a better use of digital tools, and especially of intelligent digital tools, of artificial intelligence, of big data, of Internet of Things, of virtual reality, because we have really a new sector to develop service. If we think to the experience in the educational field, for example, we can reflect on the possibility of the learning, of the digital learning, using, for example, virtual reality or augmented reality or artificial intelligence for the profiling of the student, of the user of the platform. So I think this is a good opportunity that COVID gives us. Of course, COVID gives us also terrible things.
Right.
You know,
So
as I mentioned.
Yes, I read an article recently that it says that, Michael, you mentioned about digital divide earlier in your speech, that it says now digital divide is actually no longer about people who have access to internet and those who don't have access to internet, but now actually the digital divide is between people who choose to use
they know how to
AI and people who choose to opt out of this ecosystem. So as a public sector, how do you think you can reduce this digital divide? Because there seems to be certain mistrust or distrust among citizens towards this technology.
Yeah, absolutely. As you said, the main digital divide would be about the capacity of using the technology, of using even the laptop, the computer, and all the possibilities and all the potential that the internet gives us. Nevertheless, there's still a little bit of access to internet gap, a little bit of digital divide. Those people living in the worst economic circumstances. In Barcelona, there's like 10,000 families who have no access to internet, and especially, as I said before, in times of lockdown, it's a big problem because they cannot connect to school. They cannot do their training courses or their professional training or wherever. So it's not as you said, the digital divide is mainly about the capacity, but it's still going on. That problem is still there. It doesn't affect the it doesn't affect the whole population, very small percentage of population, but still there is. And as you said, more important is the how we use, if we know how to use all the potential that the internet gives us, because it's not only about and even the young people. I mean, because we tend to believe that if you're 18 or 20, you are born with a mobile and that your arm, it's all about Instagram and TikTok. But that doesn't mean that you know what internet and all the danger that's behind the internet as well, and all the potential. And then there's what we are working in that idea. We are working in the capacitation through the training courses, through the public libraries. We also have a network of Fab Labs. They are public in Barcelona. We've got 5 Fab Labs that they are totally totally public, and we work in the interaction between citizens and technology in order to have a first contact of what internet and technology can deliver them. And then, as I said at the beginning of my exposition, we're also working on this idea of smart citizens, and it's all about the power that internet gives us. It's not only having the access to internet and the devices. It's not only about the capacity, what you can do, but it's also with the power that internet gives you in order to launch new initiatives, a new business, a demonstration. It's about empowering citizens to have an impact in the public policies and the public sphere on digital dimension as well. But before having this empower, you need to have the access to internet, and you need as you said, the capacity. So once you are able to get over those digital divides, you're able to have a full citizens empowered also in a digital dimension.
Right. And just out of curiosity, do you collect citizens' data? Do you collect their data for your in terms of public services? The citizen have to provide their data to the authorities? Or any data regulation that you have in terms of providing data?
Well,
collecting of data.
Data regulation is under the RGDP of the European Union. So the data that we collect is not personal because first of all, you have to guarantee the privacy. So what we really collect is numbers. How many people are using the subway right now? How many people have passed, or how many cars have passed through this road, this avenue, or so. When it comes in terms of citizens' data, it's all about the aggregation of data and never the private data.
European legislation is recognized as the best legislation in the world to guarantee the privacy, to guarantee the use and the respect of the citizen. So I think this is really important to apply our methodology, the methodology of European Union, the methodology of the country of the European Unity, also in other areas of the world, because the theme of the use of the data will be in the future one of the strategic themes of our city. There are two models. If you read the book of Morozov and other authors about this, there is a model where the role of the big science, the big company, is strategic, and they are the owner of the data of the citizen, the data of the city, of the territory, and so on. But there is another possible model, is the model where the data are owned by the public authority, are gathered with the respect of the privacy and the respect of the information of the citizen about the use. And in this way, the data became a resource for the citizen. Jaron Lanier, an important researcher on the virtual reality artificial intelligence, said that the new money of the people tomorrow will be the data. And it would be important to recognize the value of the information, of the data of the people, and to pay the people also a small sum, but to pay the people for their data, because this is the oil of the future. And the oil of the future is the information, and the owner of the information have to be the citizen. And the citizen have to decide how company can use their data. And in these approaches, the role of the public administration is really, really important to check that the citizens are the actor, the central actor and the owner of the data, and have the possibility to change, to control, to modify their data.
Right. So Michael only have 1 minute of his time with us. So before you go, just one last question for you, because we have a lot of audience from the developing countries. So how do you think, at what point should they start using AI for the public service? Do you think, what kind of opportunity do they have with the current technology, AI that has been developed right now for the developing countries?
For me,
can I let Michael first? Yes,
the most important technology will be the intelligent smartphone. Use of artificial intelligence is smartphone. The smartphone in the developing country are changing the role of the woman, for example, and the role of the rural area of the world. So the network of smartphone is the killing application of the future. Intelligent smartphone.
Michael? Yeah.
Well, I don't really know what to say. I mean, I don't know if any advice I can give. It's any wood, because the important thing is about how we have our own organization. What's the resources of our organization? What's the reality? So I'd say that the main piece of advice I would be able to give is that make yourself a question: what do you want the AI for? Why are you going to develop a strategy on AI? And after that, everything comes along with the answer of that question.
Right. Okay. Thank you so much, Michael, for being with us. Yeah, I hope all the audience have heard a lot from you. I think a lot of interesting things are happening in Barcelona. So we'll keep in touch.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, stay safe.
Thanks a lot, Marino.
Right.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
All right. So for Marino, we are also... Marino, are you there?
Yes.
Okay. I was going to let you have a last word on this. Like, what do you think is the future of AI for public services?
For public service, future of the AI is for the efficient service for the enterprise and for the citizen. And I think the role of the public administration is to reduce. You before talk about the digital device. Now we are not in a situation of digital device only, but also in a situation of knowledge divide. The digital divide once was a device created by the lack of technology, the lack of software in some area of the world or in some part of our society. The divide of the future will be the divide of the knowledge. People have computer, people have connection, but they haven't the knowledge to understand how to select this information, how to organize this information. And so there is a knowledge divide. We can reduce this gap only using education, using the culture, the work on the school, for example, also for adult person and aging person. And so I think in all these activities, the role of the public administration, the local administration, of the university, of the high school is really, really important to reduce the gap of knowledge between different part of our society, but also to reduce the gap between different parts of the world. In developing country, for example, in area where the internet or the digital infrastructure are not so advanced in technological terms as in other area of the world, because it's not strategic for enterprise or for financial founders to invest there. So we have to prepare policy to reduce this gap, and the role of our country in this is really important.
Okay. So thank you again, Marino, to everyone. Stay safe.